In 1953, two Americans, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, were convicted of spying for the Soviet Union. They were sentenced to death. They had young children, and their fate roused protests in America and across the world. For some young lawyers, the sentence breached the Constitution. They sought judges to get a stay of execution.
Judge Frank looks at us, and he says something that we have never forgotten. He said, "If I were as young as you are, I would be sitting there saying the same things you're saying, arguing the same points you're arguing, making the same argument that these planned executions are invalid. But when you are as old as I am, you will understand why I cannot do it." And he stands up, turns his back to us, walks away, and we're devastated. We began to sense something which in later years we understood so clearly, and that was that Jerome Frank, as the leading liberal judge, was terrorized himself and frightened by the atmosphere of fear in the country, that if he, as a liberal, would do something to save Julius and Ethel Rosenberg's life, he would be charged as a commie.
The Rosenbergs were executed.
He died quickly. There didn't seem to be too much life left in him when he entered behind the rabbi. He seemed to be walking in a cadence of steps, as if keeping in time with the muttering of the 23rd Psalm. She died a lot harder. When it appeared that she had received enough electricity to kill an ordinary person and had received the exact amount that had killed her husband, the doctors went over and pulled down the cheap prison dress, a little dark green printed job, and placed the I can't say it. Placed the stethoscopes to her, and then looked around and looked at each other rather dumbfounded and seemed surprised that she was not dead. And she was given more electricity, which started again that kind of a ghastly plume of smoke that rose from her head and went up against the skylight overhead. After two more of those jolts, Ethel Rosenberg had met a maker she'll have a lot of explaining to do, too. Thank you.